it turns out that a lot of people are worried about nuclear outbreak with, say, for instance, Russia. But if you're in the UK, I really wouldn't worry too much at the moment, because it seems that we actually don't have much of a nuclear deterrent anyway. We've had something called Trident for many years. It's a missile that was basically, the delivery system was made by the Americans, and we allegedly make the warhead at the top, although apparently it's been nicked. The design was already nicked from the Americans, if you believe that. Now the theory is we have submarines that poodle around undetected, and that any time that looks like troubles break out, they head in the direction of, say for instance, where the threat comes from, and they're ready to launch an attack on any adversary. All right. The theory is also that within these tubes, silo, call it what you want. Sorry, this is a really rough road. This missile is sat, and the submarine will sit just under the surface of the water, and when given the command, will release air into the tube, which forces the missile above the surface, at which time the missile's boosters, or rocket motors, or whatever you want to call it, motors are supposed to engage. That is, fire up and away you go. Turns out it hasn't done that lately. Now what's actually happened lately is when you test fire one of these 17 million pound dummies, by the way, because obviously if you're doing a test you're not going to actually put a nuclear warhead on the top for obvious reasons. However, turns out that they've set this thing up. The first part of the sequence has happened, so the air has gone in and forced this thing up above the surface, and the motor hasn't gone off. But not once, but twice. And that's recently. So I thought, oh well, that's bad, must just be about bad bunch or something. No, it turns out the last time they did it before, which was quite some years ago, they did the same thing. Now, Jeremy Corbyn was always against Trident and said we shouldn't have it and it's a total waste of money, but he came at it from a pacifist point of view, and also he probably quite likes the adversary anyway. But what good is it if all it is a load of hype? Just imagine this. Imagine you're a bloke, right? Your woman's on the bed, and you circle around the bed endlessly telling her how you're going to kick her doors in. But actually, when you pull the old John Thomas out, there's nothing there, or it doesn't work. That's just like our Trident. And this is the other thing about mutually assured destruction and all that kind of shit. The purpose is supposed to be that you're supposed to marry the other half so that you're at parity. And that's what makes it safe, that they have just the same amount of weapons as you do, so if it goes off, you'll destroy them, they'll destroy you, and that's that. However, it seems that after the Cold War, we may well have been sat down and taking life a little bit easy, because at the moment, the Russians seem to have a lot better technology than we do, which is really kind of worrying when you look at it, because our lot keep poking the bear. You know, it's like going up to a bully and fucking offering him out, and you've got like, I don't know, a stick, and he's got a Colt 45 or something, I don't know. Not very into my weapons. But you get the idea anyway. Not just that. If those things don't work, and I always thought to myself, so let me get this right. We've got a delivery system that's sold to us by another country. Now that to me would seem like there was a conflict of interest, because wouldn't you have some inbuilt redundancy in that delivery system that should your adversary decide that it wants to launch that and you don't agree in it, that you could stop it? Just, it never seemed like a good idea. I always thought, this is just me being old-fashioned, that if we had some sort of way of defending ourselves, it should be made for by us, kept secret by us, and used by us. Not bought off people who are more commonly known for firing on their own than actually on the enemy. And I have to be honest, as much as I do love the American people, I'm not a great fan of their government. And like ourselves these days, they don't have a particularly good history of winning shit. So, yeah, well, fucked off out of Iraq, like we did. Then they're Vietnam, that's not so good. But yeah, I don't know, what do you think? So what do we do now then, if we haven't got that? I mean, Vladimir Putin must be laughing his socks off. So you're going to threaten me? What with? Exactly. Sanctions when you need our gas? Sanctions when you need this? And not just that, hasn't Vladimir Putin got together with a few other people that are apparently not on the liked list, and decided to be a trading bloc or something like that on their own, haven't they? Yeah, whatever. I just thought I'd mention that because I always had a particular interest in the Cold War, and as much as I wish that all nuclear weapons would be banned, because I don't like them, they are, or have been allegedly, the thing that has stopped people going into full-scale war. If you look at during the Cold War, what we always managed to do, and this is great as well, no demister on this truck. So what we actually have managed to do is have wars in other people's countries rather than on our own soil. And we're not the only ones. We've done it, the Americans have done it, whatever. So we'll go to some third world shithole and have our little bit of a discussion there and do it all behind sort of secret and clandestine. So it seems. But if we didn't have nuclear weapons, would we have to go back to the old way of doing things? That really is bloody. But I always thought to myself as well, I think they've always had back channels. And I think they use the other side as the boogeyman. And yeah, I think that we're scared the living daylights out with, if we don't spend lots and lots and lots and lots of money on nuclear weapon systems, that basically we're going to be in danger from the boogeyman. Or maybe, it's just come to me, maybe this missile fucking failing twice and then going public about it, because why would you go public about your own inability to defend yourself? Why would you go public about something that's cost this country billions being fucking useless? Unless, get me out here, unless you want to say, well, this is shit, we need to come up with something else, and incidentally we've got to spend fucking billions on that. So maybe this is the way that they're going to sell to us. Actually, what we need is a new defence system. It'll only cost you, I don't know, X amount of billion, but you need it, given the fact your old one doesn't work anymore. Maybe. You tell me. Mr. Floppy. I don't know how those people on that sub would have felt. You'd imagine, you're sat underneath a war machine, right? This missile that goes up I don't know how many feet. And then when it comes down, you're hoping that it misses the conning tower and all of your other directional surfaces and the main body of your submarine. Otherwise, at best, you put a big dent in your fucking craft and have to go back to port and get it all knocked out. And at worst, well, who knows? It does make you think. But yet again, our nuclear deterrent is impotent. Wonderful. Anyway, I'm stuck in traffic going nowhere. Story of my fucking life. I'll see you in a bit.